Oops, what happened there? The tape went funny. Okay, it's the 7th of May. I think it's the 7th, isn't it? 7th of May 2013. Not a very good year so far, is it? A Christian dies. I said a Christian dies and goes to heaven. He looks back on his life and he sees a beach in a desert. He sees a desert with footprints on it. So the Christian dies and goes to heaven. He sees the desert with footprints in it. He looks at God. And he says, "Hey God, how come when I was happy in my life, there are 2 sets of footprints, but when I am sad, there's only 1 set of footprints?" And God says, "Well, there's only 1 set of footprints because that's when you walked away." So there's only 1 set of footprints because that's when you walked away. Christian dies and goes to hell. Walks up to the devil and said, "Hey, Lucifer, I spent 70 years praying to Jesus. Why didn't I go to heaven?" And the devil just laughs and says, "Well, where the fuck do you think you have been all your life? Where do you think you've been all your life?" Christian kneels down in front of the cross. Says, "Jesus, Jesus." He starts praying, "Jesus, see, Jesus, save me, save me." And there's Jesus, and the crucifix says, "Well, mate, I'd love to, but my hands are tied. I've got my coat on back to front. It's a bit dumb, isn't it?" Ow! Knock, knock. Knock, knock. "Who's there?" said Jesus, looking at the 2 Roman soldiers hammering nails into his hands. Christian walks up to Jesus and says, "Hey, Jesus, what do you want for Easter?" A bit late. "What do you want for Easter?" And Jesus looks at the nails and says, "Well," the nails in his hands, and says, "Well, to be honest with you, a pair of pliers would be useful." How many Christians does it take to change a light bulb? 1 to plug it in, and the rest to wait for God to turn on the light. Alright, how many of you guys are bored yet? Are you bored? What are you doing with your life, man? What are you actually doing with your lives? I do a full-time job, right? So in the evening I like to socialise and have a bit of fun. Problem is, there's nobody left. Everybody's gone away, you know. Hey? There's nobody left now. Everybody's gone away for the most part, you know what I mean? Russell died, and then Basil and Ashley got locked up in prison. Basil got a job and a kid and all that. So the only problem with my mates, they grow up. We used to have a hell of a lot of fun up here, you know, over the last 10 years or so. Then Mr. Hill nicks those fucking checks and tries cashing 500 quid, you know. Has my life ever been about money? I never had money before. Seems now I've got money, yeah, I seem to have lost most of my mates. It's crazy. I don't know, I suppose people have got their own lives to live now, yeah. You know, you've got wives or kids, exciting movies to watch or whatever. I guess you don't have time for your friends anymore, do you? Does friendship mean anything? In 2013, why it's 2013, hi there. Does friendship actually mean anything in 2013? Are your friends worth keeping, or do you just want to throw them away and be miserable for the rest of your life? I mean, be honest, man. Be fucking honest, at least with your mates, you know what I mean? When someone says something in confidence, you don't go around spouting rumours, man. It's not a good thing to do. How often do you find a really good friend in your entire life? How many times do you really find a really good friend who you can talk to, relate to, have a bit of fun with, enjoy their company, etc.? Maybe 4, maybe 5 times in a lifetime. That's the truth, isn't it? How often do you have a best pal? A really, really good friend? Someone you can trust, someone you can talk to, someone you can actually relate with. You're lucky if you have maybe 5 best friends in your entire life. If you're very, very lucky, maybe 10 in your entire life. But how often do they last? How long do they last? 3 years? 5 years? 10 years if you're lucky. And then your friends are gone. Your pals are gone. And you have to start all over again, sort of thing. It's kind of sad. I mean, I'm 47 now, you know what I mean? Probably a bit too old to get a boyfriend, for starters. So I'm 47 years old, you know. Most of my friends are like 23, 24, 25, 19, some of them. Or 20, one of them. You know, some are even younger. I had a lot of teenage friends over the years. They all grew up, got kids and all that sort of shit. But, you know, I still consider them mates, most of them. But how often do you find a really good pal? Someone you can rely on? When you need someone to talk to, or when you need someone to relate to, who you can trust, who you can confide in. You don't find that very often in life, believe me. You may think you know everything at 23, 25 or whatever. You don't. Believe me, you don't know everything. I am 47, guys. 47 years old. In the 1980s, a lot of my friends died of AIDS, believe it or not. This is why I can't understand why you can throw away your friends, why you throw away your pals. In the 1990s, well, 1990s is when I came out, actually. It was 1990s when I lost most of my mates. Everyone started dying in the 1980s of AIDS. A hell of a lot of gays died in the 80s of AIDS. But I actually came out of the closet in 1991. You know, admitted I was gay and all that. And a lot of my friends in the pub were dying of HIV, AIDS. The Spotted Bull. I used to drink in a pub called the Spotted Bull. And a lot of my friends had AIDS, HIV. They're probably dead by now, most of them. Sort of lost contact after the pub shut. That's why it hurts when a friend actually betrays you, sort of thing. You don't steal off your fucking friends, man. That's bad karma. How lucky are you to have a really good friend? How often do you actually find a really good friend you can relate to, talk to, play games with, enjoy their company? Not often. So why do you want to steal from me if you're supposed to be my pal? You know, I would give you free beer, free grass, free entertainment, So why would you want to steal from me? I find that just hard to comprehend, sort of thing. You know what I mean? I haven't got a lot of friends left. Most of my friends have either moved away. I had a great bunch of mates. I had about, a dozen fucking good mates at one point. Got most of them on video, maybe 20 friends I had got on video, maybe even 30. And I had loads of friends up here, and we had a party for about 10 fucking years, some of us. Everyone seems to have moved away, and it's gone really dull and quiet, and nobody ever seems to want to do anything. Don't you want any pals to have fun with, man? Don't you want to enjoy your life? Do you want to be sad, miserable and lonely all your life? Because at the moment I'm feeling fucking lonely. So at the moment I am feeling fucking lonely. I'm really not very happy at all. I'm going to end this movie now. That's all I wanted to say really, but I'm just saying, don't throw your fucking friends away. You're lucky if you find a dozen good pals in your entire lifetime. For Christ's sake, man, I've had hundreds of good pals. Like Russell died last year, A lot of my friends died of AIDS. A lot of them from other, a lot of them, faded away. Just moved away. Haven't spoken to most of them for years. Because everybody moved away. This is Hatfield, my hometown, where I was born. All I fucking wanted, were a few good mates who I could trust and have a little bit of fun with. I never wanted nothing else. I'm Bill.